Es ist wieder soweit, Fantasy Car Collection. Wir haben einen ganz, ganz spannenden Gast diesmal dabei. Und ihr seht, ich bin nicht in Bottrop, wir sind in Miami. Und das nicht alleine, sondern mit Roman Sharf, Gründer, Eigentümer und das Herz von Luxury Bazaar, einer der größten Uhren- und Schmuckhändler der USA.
Oh, no. I'm gonna talk to this guy.
Ich wechsle jetzt aber deshalb in Englisch, weil Roman natürlich kein Deutsch spricht und ich hoffe, ihr seht es mir nach. Insofern auf geht's.
Thank you so much for having me.
I was talking trash about
What
you.
he said, whatever he said, take it for his word.
Let's get into it. Fantasy Car Collection, 3 rules. You've got 10 car garage, you'll have an unlimited budget, rule number 2.
I like this already.
And rule number 3, you cannot buy a car again, ever, after this.
Oh man.
Number 1.
Well, I feel a little bit of pressure, I'll be honest with you, which I normally don't ever. The reason I feel a little bit is because my son is standing over there and he's gonna listen to my picks now. He's gonna make fun of me for a long time, but I'm gonna start with the simple stuff.
Yes.
Simple stuff was my daily driver.
Yes.
For the longest time, I changed to a new S-Class every 3 years. I think the Mercedes S-Class for me has always been a staple car due to its comfort, performance, and flex, right? It's a quiet flex. It's not a loud flex.
This guy,
right?
S-Class is an S-Class, is an S-Class.
An S-Class is an S-Class. You know, I had a gentleman argue with me. Oh, you know, the Audi A8 is a much better large size sedan than that of Mercedes. And I said, you know what? Maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong. Yeah. I'm not that technical, but I do know one thing. If I'm at a flight and there's an Audi A8, which is a beautiful sedan, it's a beautiful sedan until an S-Class pulls up next to it. So to me, for a daily driver, this is not a car I'm ever going to be willing to give up.
Which version of the S-Class and what color outside is it?
So it's S580.
S580?
And I like white. White is my favorite exterior, and they have a light beige interior. Spot number 2, I want the fucking 6x6. That thing is, I mean, with everything I saw in your entire factory, when I drove the 6x6, my expectations were not what I got. Right?
What did you expect?
My expectation was slow going, really big car, sort of a tank feel, where I had the feeling of being in a souped up G-Wagon, and when I pressed the gas and my head snapped back, I'm like, how? Right? Like, so I fell in love with that car the instant I got behind the wheel.
Color inside, outside?
That one would have to be black.
Okay, black outside, inside?
Yeah, same.
Nice.
Yeah, so being a Formula One fanatic, my third choice would not be a car.
By the way, you're a pre-Drive to Survive.
Pre-Drive to Survive fanatic,
Formula
right?
One enthusiast, and you have been.
Right now, I think that line is already crossed. I think it's done because even pre-Formula Drive to Survive fanatics have now sort of merged that line to become Drive to Survive fanatics the same because of the behind the scenes.
You've been a Formula One fan for a long time.
Exactly. So for me, the ultimate car is a car that has sold in auction already. It was actually recent, I'd say about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. They had Michael Schumacher's winning Ferrari that went to auction at Arm Sotheby's. The estimate originally was 1 to 2 million British pounds.
Sotheby's auctioned championship vintage Formula One car. I mean, it doesn't get
Michael
better.
Schumacher's Ferrari. Michael Schumacher's Ferrari.
Doesn't get better than this.
But now let's back into the fact of my Formula One. So talking about Formula One, I'm a huge Mercedes fan, right?
Yes.
So I root for Team Mercedes. My heart was broken when Lewis Hamilton moved over to Ferrari. I literally felt like I got stabbed in the heart. But Mercedes just came out with the AMG One. That, to me, if you want to talk about supercars, and people will reach for Ferraris and all those other things, and we'll get to that in a minute, hopefully. But for me, the one supercar I would love to own, first and foremost, would be the AMG One.
AMG One.
Yeah, I would go with the silver Arrow cars. I want exactly that.
What else do we need?
Speaking of my wife, I can't forget about my wife. If you remember when I visited your factory, I got a sneak peek at the two, now I nicknamed them piggy banks.
Yep.
The Porsche and the Range Rover.
Oh, the peaches, as they call them.
Well, you guys call them peaches, I call them piggy bank because if you look at a typical piggy bank that's sold, it's literally that color. So my wife, she's a huge fan of Range Rover. It's her favorite SUV. There was a period of time where she had to get out of a Range Rover because with having 3 children, it didn't have a third row. I don't know how I would spec it out. You also showed me one that had a Tiffany interior, which looked amazing. Yes. I wouldn't want to copy Millie's car, but it would certainly be something that is different, something you wouldn't see on a daily basis. And I think that spec would be really based on your recommendations along with what my wife would like.
We can ask her.
Oh my gosh, so I love the baby blue.
The Tiffany blue?
Maybe Tiffany blue.
Inside or outside?
No, probably outside.
Outside blue?
Outside.
Inside?
Inside, I would probably do nude, like
a beige cream tone?
Yes, beige cream.
Yeah, good. We got that. Perfect.
Okay, that's it. Thank you very much. That's it. That's all we got for you.
No, but he's been all over the place. Now we got an S-Class, we have a 6x6, we have a vintage Formula One car, we have an AMG One or AMG Project One, we have a Range Rover.
Now we're gonna go vintage.
Okay.
We're gonna go to.
Are you a vintage car guy?
Yes. You know what? 1950. Corvette.
1956
A
Corvette.
1956 Corvette. That's what I'm going to go with, because a Corvette, for me, I believe, it's a bit more classic or a bit more American. It's as American as it gets. So yeah, 1956 Corvette.
1950.
I'm doing that in white.
White?
And
red?
inside would be black, actually.
Okay, again.
That's another car. Speaking of doing vintage, I think that the Mercedes Gullwing is certainly going into my garage.
Yes, one number eight.
Original,
One number eight, right?
completely original,
Eight?
completely restored, completely original. And the Gullwing is going to be silver.
Do you choose is it the Gullwing or is it the Roadster Gullwing? Is it the 300 SL Cabriolet or is it the 300 SL Gullwing?
The Gullwing.
The Gullwing. So the
Gullwing.
original closed doors.
Closed doors,
Yeah.
Gullwing, silver.
Inside?
I'm going to go with the fabric because to have the matching suitcase would be amazing as well. So definitely with the fabric. So now we're up to 9. So I have 2 left.
Yes.
You got to put a Porsche in the collection. To me, honestly, the GT2 RS, it's got to be the car.
GT2 RS,
yes.
Not GT3,
no,
not GT4, not Turbo
no.
S. Why GT2 RS?
GT2 RS, because the clientele that we have with the watches, a lot of them are car guys. And every time I speak to a purist, right, a purist car guy, it's a car that, as a daily, maybe okay, right? You can still drive it daily, but it's definitely considered by at least the Porsche enthusiasts best track car in terms of performance, in terms of pure driving, being one with the car, feeling the car. The GT2 RS, and this is not just based on my opinion, but an opinion I've heard from many others, would be the Porsche to have.
Okay.
And some people say, oh, let's get the 918 Spider and this. No, GT2 RS is as pure Porsche as it gets, I feel.
Inside? Outside?
So
difficult. You can do a lot.
Difficult because Porsche, I feel like some Porsches could be loud. So something like a yellow.
Okay. So you're speccing it as thinking of a race car.
Exactly. So I'm thinking yellow, and on the inside it would just be black. Now, for my last car, I haven't said Ferrari. That's how deep my hate goes from a Formula One perspective. There will not be a Ferrari in my garage. What is in there is I'm going to go back to a childhood dream. 1988, I come to America. My father had $4 in his pocket. Typical immigrant story, right? We live in an apartment the size of this counter back here, right? 4 people. And I now get to be previewed to the land of the promise, the gold paved streets and things, America, as we dreamed it when we were in Soviet Union because we didn't know any better, right? My expectation was to get off the plane and see gold paved streets, literally, right? My father received a job in Philadelphia, moved to Philadelphia, and I started being previewed to what? Luxury, right? People that have money. There was one car that I saw. There was a guy sitting in that car. He was overweight. He had on a pair of Cartier glasses, a big ring on his pinky, and a cigar in his hand. And it was a 2-door car that he was driving that, to me, that said, that's the car I want to have when I grow up and I make a little bit of money. Mercedes? And the ultimate flex back in the early 90s was the S600. That's what it was. It was a V12, and we called it the Fat Boy because it was a really big car. And the one I'm referring to that sold in auction, they made a special version. But there's only 8 of them. I think they called it the Beast or something. It was souped up. It had even more power.
So we're talking W140? W140.
I don't know. So the body numbers that you guys talk, that's a European thing. In America, we don't say that. That was the car that I looked at and I said, one day I'm going to be overweight with a cigar in my mouth and a pair of Cartier glasses and have an S-Class, right? So I'm not overweight. I don't smoke cigars. I don't have a pinky ring, nor do I have Cartier glasses, but I do drive an S-Class. Unfortunately, they don't make the S600 anymore, or the coupe. Going forward, at some point, if I get to a level where I'm able to find the right car, that's well kept, low mileage and things of that nature, that would be a car that would ship off to the port truck for you guys to restore it to original spec.
We've actually just done one for a client, I think last year, and it's an unusual sight because it's not considered your classic, restoration car. You put a lot of money into it. Probably it's going to exceed the value. Of course. In the market. So whenever you see it, somebody has a special connection to the place. But you know what I like is we started off spot number 1 with an S-Class, modern one.
We'll finish with an S-Class.
And we're ending the fantasy car collection again with an S-Class, which kind of tells you a bit about Roman. Roman, thank you very much. This has been absolutely amazing.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks
it was a pleasure and really cool concept. I really like this.
It's a super nice format. And by the way, thank you also to your team from Luxury Bazaar to preparing our trip in Miami. We've had 2 fantastic days. Thank you, Roman, so much to you, to your team. Luxury Bazaar, of course, your son, your wife, for being spectacular hosts here in the US.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for watching. Sag mal, Julian, sind die immer noch da?
Ja, klar.
Ihr guckt ja immer noch. Also dann könnt ihr auch direkt den Kanal abonnieren, auf die Glocke klicken und vielleicht noch einen netten Kommentar da lassen. Ich sehe euch im nächsten Video.